This is an interview with Mr. Ben Butler here. Hi, before we begin, could you tell us how you're feeling?
I'm feeling great. It's a beautiful summer day, a little steamy and sticky, but that's to be expected. Otherwise, glad to be outside.
Awesome. And before we begin with the interview questions, can you tell me more about yourself and your background?
Yeah, so I was born and raised here on the farm. I'm a member of the third generation, so I had a little unique childhood. Graduated from Damascus High School in 2006. From there, University of Maryland in 2010 with a degree in horticulture and crop production. I spent one winter in Breckenridge, Colorado, working at the ski lift, which was a great experience before I came back to the rest of my life. So I started full-time here at the farm in 2011, and I'm currently the farm and finance manager. And I just have 3 kids now. My most recent is 6 weeks old. And we just moved to the farm, to my grandmother's log cabin where the original farmhouse was. So, yeah, that's me.
That's awesome, thank you. Our second question, at this farm, you recently said that you have the role of farmer and a finance manager. What does that job entail, and what are the key crops or livestock that you work with?
So the key, as far as the farm manager piece, so we really focus on small fruit, which would be blueberries, strawberries, blackberries, raspberries, tree fruit, tart cherries, and apples. And then we also do cut your own flowers, we do vegetables, and we have about 40 acres of cut your own Christmas trees. So we're very diverse, which has its pros and cons. But my role between farm and finance, obviously, I'm in charge of all the production of all of our crops and the maintenance of all of our farmland. The finance piece, my job really is to steer the ship. Make sure at a high level that we're making more money than we're spending and that we are on track to be successful.
Thank you. And moving on to our next question, is there a favorite fruit or vegetable you love here at the farm that you either just enjoy growing or like eating?
That's a good question. I do love vegetable season because vegetables such a short time frame in the scheme of farming. Like a Christmas tree, for example, takes 8 years until you realize that return. An apple tree would be 5 years, but vegetables you plant in the spring, you harvest in the summer, and so I like that cycle. Favorite fruit though has got to be a strawberry. We're big strawberry people. It's a very exciting time of year here because it's our first crop that we pick, and also they're just delicious. The varieties we grow are focused on flavor instead of shippability or shelf life. So the flavor is unlike anything else you'll ever have. So that's always a fun time of year.
Oh yeah, the strawberries here are amazing. It seems that a large majority of your family members have been involved in this farm, and many have seemed to have gone to UMD in order to pursue a job here. So what inspired you to become a farmer? Was it for this continuation of this family tradition, or something you discovered on your own?
I would say it's both. It's definitely, I think by middle school I realized what a unique lifestyle we had and what a unique opportunity. If I wanted to be involved in the farm, there was no handouts, but if we were able to pull our weight and make a difference here, there would be opportunities. So I learned that opportunity was unique and really special. But also, just obviously growing up here and being part of the lifestyle, you just have a passion for farming and for producing just huge amounts of delicious fruit that we can share with the local community. So that's a really special business model to be involved with. It's really a feel-good industry. But also, I get to work with my family, which is usually a good thing. I get to be outside a lot, make my own schedule. So there's a lot of benefits to the world that we live in.
Do you take your kids here often?
Oh, my kids are here daily. Whether we're in the farm park playing or, we're eating a lot of fruit this time of year, which is a good thing and a bad thing. So yeah, we're here all the time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Fifth question, what would you say is the best daily part of your job that you find pleasure in, or just pure enjoyment?
No, I really enjoy working with our staff. Our team is great. Of course, just like any work environment, you have issues and struggles and challenges. But in general, we have great staff that make my life a lot easier. I think the other piece of my daily routine changes just about every day. There's a few standards, but we're very seasonal here. So what I'm doing in the wintertime is very different than what I'm doing in the summer or the fall. So that really is exciting because it changes up on a regular basis. So the monotony of your everyday doesn't really settle in here.
Because it's so fun.
Yeah, it's seasonal,
Oh.
so we get to change quite a bit.
Next question. Do you have any future goals or aspirations for your farm?
That's a good question. Absolutely. I mean, so being part of the third generation, there's 7 members. So my kids and my brothers and sisters' children. There's 7 of them in the fourth generation, and our vision is to create an environment that is sustainably, not only environmentally but economically, because we would like to keep this legacy of our family going as long as we can. So that's not very specific as like what we're going to do next, but as a whole, that's our mentality is to keep this business healthy so that we have something to give our children in however many years if they want to be involved, which is a different conversation because I didn't have any pressure from my parents to come back and be here full time. A lot of farm families do pressure their children because they need the help, but I think that's part of the reason why it was so appealing to come back was that I wasn't forced to come here. It was just an opportunity.
It was on your own free will.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw on your farm that your family. I saw on your website that your family previously grew 25 acres of peaches and sold them off to local grocery stores, and now it's grown over to more than 300 acres. What are some of the challenges that you face as a farmer on such a huge piece of land, and how do you overcome them?
I overcome them with help and trying to be organized. Part of our challenge is that we're so diverse. Like I said, we're growing dozens of different crops. So, there are people who are apple growers, and there's people who grow apples. I'm a farmer that grows apples, along with a number of other things. So, the saying, Jack of many trades, master of none. I kind of fit in that category. We're really good farmers, I think, in a lot of different areas, but I wouldn't say I'm the best strawberry grower or apple grower or whatever, because my time is split between so many different priorities. So we really have to prioritize on a daily basis and just keep, in general, and my father taught me this growing up, get the basics right. Get the fundamentals right, and a lot of the other problems will take care of themselves. So basic fertility and soil health and crop protectants, all of those things, we focus on doing a good job on the basics so that the rest of the problems aren't as bad. So that's probably one of our biggest challenges, the diversity that we have. Not to mention we've got customers here day and night, 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week. So there's a lot of moving pieces and a lot of different departments that we interact with. So communication is important too here.
I understand. There must be lots of staff who work here. Fifth question. I've heard that you love to be out in the field and love to be involved heavily in the day-to-day productions, as you just said. How do you feel when you're out there working in the field?
I feel free to be able to be outside with your hands. It's just, I feel very fortunate because a lot of people spend, what's the average the U.S. citizen spends in the car? 55 minutes, I think. I live here. So that's, so the freedom I feel to be able to come and be productive and, again, such a huge amount of staff that's very experienced that we can make a lot of things happen in short order. So that's probably, I do feel when I'm in the office with my finance role, that's challenging because I'm dealing with taxes or insurance or things that are not nearly as enjoyable for me as the production part. But, as a business, those are equally, if not more important items to address and keep up with. Because if we don't pay our taxes and don't have insurance, growing the crops for the public is, may not last. We might go out of business if we don't have insurance with a lawsuit, or we don't pay our taxes and then have a bunch of taxes due. So getting the business fundamentals is really important. But by far my favorite is just being out in the field. Yeah.
It's wonderful weather today. So
it is, and we're in the
nice.
shade too, which is nice.
Are there any lessons or insights you have learned along the way about maintaining a fulfilling personal life while still being a successful farmer?
I would say I'm still figuring that out with a young family. I think, what we've learned over the generations is my grandparents who started the farm worked really hard, and they risked just about everything they had to make this work. My father and his brother and sister who took it to the next level, they worked 6-7 days a week, year round, and really were focused on keeping this business successful. So my generation, we've got it even better than my parents' generation did. We have a lot of staff to help and work some of the hours that are harder. I would say the key for me is still figuring out that the work-life balance piece, trying to be a good dad and a good husband, but also being the leader here that I have to be to keep the staff's faith in me and keep this operation moving in the right direction, because it's a lot of things happening every day.
I understand. How do you engage with the local community or contribute to agriculture education and awareness in the local area?
Which is hugely important around here. We live in a county with over 1 million people, and everyone's further separated from agriculture than they've ever been. So, part of our entire business model is just having our farm open to the customers, not only for, it's not about the money. When you look at it from this perspective, it's about exposing children and even adults to just production agriculture. That strawberries grow on the ground on a plant and cherries go on trees. We answer dozens of phone calls every winter, people wanting to come pick fruit. And we're kind of like, this is an educational moment. Things are seasonal. The grocery store gets produce from all over the world. And so trying to bring that kind of wholesome concept back of local and, community. Otherwise, I would say we talked about this. We donate and we sell to the Farm to Food Bank program, which gets food, local produce into folks that need it, which is a great program. We also volunteer with Farm Bureau, which has a lot of outreach for ag education. We do farm tours here also. So we're pretty focused on that, and of course we do career days and read aloud days at the local elementary schools, just to be the farmer that, I guess, that token farmer that people want to see sometimes. So we're happy to play that role and put the awareness out there that we are here and that it's a strong industry, and we're happy to be growing food for people.
That's so wholesome.
Yeah.
Moving on, what advice would you give to someone who is considering a career in the farming industry?
I would say, farming itself is tough. I'm very fortunate in the fact that I was in a family that we have this land, which of course land values in this area are through the roof. So to be a new farmer would be tough, but there are opportunities to start small and find your niche. I would also say that there's a ton of opportunities in the support system for agriculture. Whether it's a pathologist who works on plant diseases or an entomologist who works on insects. I work with dozens of professionals in other specific industries that support us. University of Maryland Extension's a big one. They have commercial horticulture support, soil testing labs. It really is just endless. So I would say go to school. You don't have to, but I think just the exposure to a college environment is helpful for life skills. And then try to find out what really is exciting for you. Because you never know if you're going to be in a field and see a crazy bug and you're really interested, and then it's just like a whole, then your world opens up. Not to mention plant breeding and plant genetics is a whole other world. We work a lot with plant breeders, testing varieties for flavor and for shelf life. So there's a lot of different industries involved with ag as opposed to just being a farmer. And a lot of those other industries, you don't have to work weekends or nights, and you have benefits and some of those benefits. So yeah, it's a big world of agriculture out there. I know Montgomery County may not see it, but go up to Frederick or Southern Maryland or on the Eastern Shore, there's a lot of people who are supported by the ag industry.
Yeah, it seems like a wonderful job because of lots of freedom, and you're also like exploring new things all
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you. We're coming near the end. Can you share any interesting stories or experiences you've had as a farmer thus far?
Interesting experiences or stories? Oh, there's never a dull moment. We like the oddity. Friday night, we had a storm come through, a tree fell, crushed a fence and 2 porta potties, and we had a big event on Saturday. So at 11 o'clock, we had some staff here cleaning up that fallen tree. Saturday night, another storm came through, power went out. So I would say it's just fun being in this kind of our own little world, because you never know what's going to happen. Also, not the most positive note, but theft here is an interesting thing. We have a decent amount of theft, so trying to make people feel welcome and have a positive environment, but also keep an eye on some of the theft, because you'd be surprised. we've had people steal Christmas trees before. It's like, how could you sit around your Christmas tree knowing it was a stolen tree?
How do they even manage that?
Right. Well, and that's just it. We have checkout set up just about everywhere. But if you drive right through it, and don't put this out there too far, but if you drive right through it, my 17-year-old staff person isn't going to hop on it. Not going to call the cops on you. It's just one of those things that happens so quickly that we can't always take care of it on the backside. So.
Oh wow, that's awful.
Yeah, it's tough. That's just one of those things. It just makes you. But we believe in karma, and we believe that if you're stealing that Christmas tree, something else is gonna balance things out.
I agree with you.
But no, I would say the experiences too. We have some of the most beautiful times here. Being the farmer manager, I'm up early, I'm up late, so seeing sunrises and sunsets, and some of the the beauty of the farm in unique times, in the snow especially, is beautiful. So that's some of the best memories I have here. Not to mention being a family, and our pond is just over my shoulder. We have a lot of fun in the pond, playing with the kids and relaxing. So never-ending stories and always something different happening.
That's amazing. Well, we're at the end of the interview now. If there's anything else you would like to say to anyone watching, to anyone interested about the farm, you may go ahead and say it.
I would say that we're just grateful. I'm very fortunate. Like I've said, my grandparents started this farm 73 years ago when Germantown was in the middle of nowhere. And the fact that we've been able to be successful and the community has supported us over all those years through recessions, through the housing crisis, through COVID. So, we feel just so tied to community that we offer a great experience and a great product, but also we know that they've, and you have supported us over the years to create a lifestyle that we enjoy and to make this farm economically sustainable so that we can continue to be here generations to come.
Thank you so much, Mr. Butler. This was a wonderful interview, and I loved having you here.
Thank you.